What's going on, folks? New here at Tool Dynaworks, and I just want to do a very quick follow-up video to this ZX6 behind me, which is the last video that we just posted on our channel and our social media about the clogged catalytic converter that was causing this bike to perform like absolute dog shit. So just to quickly recap, we went ahead and brought this bike in a couple days ago because the owner had been going around and around to the dealership trying to figure out what was going on with this motorcycle. It was way down in performance. Ultimately, what we found was there was a baffle installed in the slip-on exhaust system with the stock header still in place, which have a catalytic converter, and that additional back pressure from the baffle being installed in the slip-on caused the catalytic converter to completely melt down and fail. This is how the bike performed on our dyno. You can see there it made 60 horsepower and 30 foot-pounds of torque to the tire. The air fuel is not even on the board as far as the bottom graph there, and it just generally sucked. I mean, that's less than FZ07 performance. And when we shared that video and that graph, a lot of people were just stunned. I forget sometimes that we see these type of failures all the time here at Tool Dynaworks, but most folks riding a motorcycle around on the road, they're modifying it with something as simple as a slip-on and maybe even a baffle. Don't ever expect to have something like that happen. So I want to show you what a portion of the catalyst material looked like once we went ahead and removed it from the header. So this is a chunk of that material that we removed. This is supposed to be a nice open honeycomb the exhaust gas can flow through. You can see there that there is sort of a brown discoloration on the actual catalyst material itself. And again, this is supposed to be a nice open honeycomb. That orangish brown material on there is actually unburnt fuel deposits and fuel additive that have essentially just stuck to the honeycomb material, superheated and started burning in the catalyst itself. And then once this catalyst material starts to see 12, 13, 1400 degree sustained temperatures, it just starts to melt. And you ultimately end up with a plug exactly like this instead of a nice open honeycomb design. And you're just not going to get any exhaust gas to flow through that whatsoever. Now, when we shared that video a couple days ago, some folks were also even doubting that what we were explaining was wrong with the motorcycle was actually wrong with the motorcycle. They thought there must be something else wrong. They've ran baffles in their slip-ons before without any issues. And I'm here to tell you that just because you've done it doesn't mean that it's great for your bike and that it's probably performing less well than you really think it is. So this is how that bike performed once we had removed the baffle from the exhaust system 2 days ago about 4:50 in the afternoon. Power came up to 75 horsepower, air fuel was still pig-rich. And here's this same motorcycle from 2 days ago, now that the catalyst material has been removed from the header, with our ECU flash now in place for the M4 slip-on without the baffle, which is how they should always be, without the baffle. And here's the performance. 122.8 horsepower and 50.7 foot-pounds of torque to the tire on pump gas. You can see the air fuel now is as flat as a board. It is within 2 to 3% everywhere, which is the accuracy that we guarantee with our ECU flash. And you can see that I actually didn't do anything, looking at the timestamps there, other than just run the crap out of this thing this morning, starting at 11:58 and 25 seconds. And I stopped running at about 12:02 and 24 seconds just to get some of the loose catalyst material out of the exhaust system. So there you have it, folks. For those of you that are doubting that that can actually happen to your motorcycle, especially a high output inline 4 with a relatively low quality OEM catalytic converter in the headers, and a slip-on with a baffle in it, there's the proof. Those baffles are an enormous restriction to the exhaust flow. The catalytic converter cannot handle the sustained heat. The air fuel, even bone stock, will go massively richer than it's designed to, and the catalyst material will melt down, and the bike will run very, very poorly. That's all I've got time for today, folks. So if you have any questions, feel free to send us an email at support@tooldynaworks.com, whether that is about ECU flashing, about bike setup, whatever it is. I'm happy to answer them. I'm happy to help. And if you're looking to get our custom mapping for your specific intake and exhaust system flash into your ECU, because you can see there it is as accurate as it could possibly be, that is all available on our website through our mail-in ECU flashing service at tooldynaworks.com.